said, bird, bird, bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird, bird, bird.
What's going on, everyone? For WrestleTrivia, I'm your host, Kevin J. Callis. And you're watching Wrestling Jeopardy, the interactive game show where you're the contestant.
Let the games begin! Yeah!
So let's go to the board now and check out the categories you'll be quizzed on in this special Thanksgiving episode. Starting with Name That Gooker. Or is it Gooker? Gooker, Gooker. Anyway, this category is going to be about people who dressed up in the Gooker costume. And the next category is Potluck, a relative smorgasbord, a vast cornucopia of random wrestling trivia. And then we're on to some WCW Traditions. Fourth category is called Pieface, where you'll have to correctly identify the superstar whose face is full of pie.
There are many type of pies.
And last but not feast, our member category of the week, Recycled Tag Team Names, which had 75% of the vote over Grossest Superstars and Survivor Series Soul Survivors. And that sound, no, it's not the dinner bell. It's time for the 200-point jobber round, the easiest round in Wrestling Jeopardy. It's all or stuffing for you. Will you answer all 5 of these questions correctly, or will you feel rather foul afterwards?
Oh, no. I wouldn't do that, not in front of an audience like this.
All right, let's dive in with both feet and kick things off with Name That Gooker. To celebrate the 25th anniversary of its debut, this member of the New Day donned the turkey costume on the November 26, 2015 episode of SmackDown. And the correct answer, who is Xavier Woods, who I think is actually like the MVP of Wrestling Jeopardy. He's been like the answer to at least 4 or 5 questions. All right, and here comes the second clue of the jobber round from Potluck. This is where the tribal chief sits at the Bloodline Thanksgiving feast. No, the tribal chief won't be sitting with the kiddos. The correct answer, what is the head of the table? Moving on to the third clue of the jobber round from WCW Traditions. Created by Dusty Rhodes, this signature steel cage match traditionally main evented WCW's Fall Brawl pay-per-view. And now it's become an annual tradition at the Survivor Series. The correct answer, what is War Games? Or as William Regal says it,
War Games!
We're on to the fourth clue of the jobber round from Pieface. Who is this? All he's ever wanted for Christmas is his 2 front teeth. The correct answer, back in the day, he was the commissioner, who is Mick Foley.
Things could be a lot worse, Deborah.
Oh, yeah, they can be.
And let's finish up the jobber round with a clue from Recycled Tag Teams. Buddy Roberts and Jerry Brown were the first duo to adopt this moniker when they began teaming together in 1970. However, Stunning Steve Austin and Flying Brian Pillman are the most remembered version. Oh yeah, and we're talking about who are the Hollywood Blondes. I hope you studied hard before this episode and decided not to wing it.
Yeah, shake it to feather.
But now things get a little bit more difficult in the 400-point round because that's how I casserole. Kicking things off with a clue from Name That Gooker. At the 2008 Survivor Series, this wrestler dressed up in the bird costume and wormed his way into a conversation backstage between the Colognes and the Bella Twins. Yes, he wormed his way into the conversation. The correct answer, who is the boogeyman? We're on to the second clue of the 400-point round from Potluck. Suffice to say, this Thanksgiving dish is a personal favorite of Jesse and Festus. Growing up, that dish always made me a man. What is biscuits and gravy? Or biscuits and gravy! Moving on to WCW Traditions for 400. True or false, every Starrcade pay-per-view was held on Thanksgiving night. It started off that way. From 1983 to 1987, Starrcade was held on Thanksgiving night until the WWF decided to start a little annual Thanksgiving tradition of their own called the Survivor Series. But the answer to this question is false. And that brings us to Pieface for 400. Who is this? Poor Toni Storm. This is obviously, I think, when she realized, like, I need to get the heck out of Dodge and leave the WWE. And she did, and she became Timeless Toni Storm. The correct answer, who is Toni Storm? And let's finish up the 400-point round with a clue from the member category of the week, recycled tag team names. The Undertaker and The Big Show formed the Unholy Alliance in WWE. However, about 1 year later, ECW introduced their own version featuring these two wrestlers. The correct answer here, who is Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck? 10 questions down, 15 to go, plus the daily doubles floating out there, and we still have Final Jeopardy. But here comes the first clue of the 600-point round. On the November 23rd, 2009 edition of Raw, this diva made her shocking return to the ring dressed as the Gobbledy Gooker in order to sneak attack Melina. Now this sneak attack may have been underhanded, but a turkey never looks so good. The correct answer, who is Maurice?
Hey, that's pretty good.
And that brings us to the 600-point clue from Potluck. If Ryback was your guest at Thanksgiving dinner and he decided to go back for seconds, chances are you'd hear him utter this catchphrase. He'd start like pounding on the table like this, like, feed me more.
Feed me.
More? Get in my belly!
Turkey's nothing but a fat bird.
This cracks me up.
Here comes a 600-point clue from WCW Traditions. The last incarnation of the Four Horsemen came in 1998 when Arn Anderson reformed the group with Ric Flair, Steve McMichael, Chris Benoit, and this wrestler. And that would be the Iceman, who is Dean Malenko. We're headed back to another Pieface clue. This one is worth 600 points. Who is this? Oh, the Italian stallion himself, who is Santino Marella.
That one was fresh from an oven.
And that brings us to the final clue of the 600-point round. This ECW tag team served as inspiration for Kid Cash and Jamie Noble, who wrestled together under the same moniker in WWE. Now, Cash and Noble were a team for I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 months, something like that. Didn't have much success. Wrestled for the championship belts, I think, once. The correct answer, who are the Pitbulls? Here we go. Let's hop back into Name That Gooker for 800. 2017 saw this wrestler appear in the infamous turkey costume on an episode of 205 Live. Referring to himself as the Gobbledy Goolacker, the correct answer, who is Drew Gulak? And he also dressed up as the Gooker in 2021 and pinned R-Truth for the 24/7 championship.
It's a gobbling Gooker the no.
Yes.
Gobble, gobble, baby!
All right, let's move on now to the 800-point clue from Potluck. All right, the pie's the limit for you with this episode's Daily Double from the category of Potluck.
You've got to be kidding me.
You've got stuffing to lose, so place your wager now. All right, time is up. Here is the Daily Double clue. After overindulging during your Thanksgiving meal, you might want to get back in shape by using this Ruthless Aggression era fitness guru's workout tapes and supplements. Oh, gotta love the Simon system, the correct answer. Who is Simon Dean? And we're moving on to another clue from WCW Traditions for 800. Thanksgiving Thunder was the subtitle for the 13th edition of this special televised event that ran from 1988 to 1997. The correct answer, what is the Clash of the Champions? We're on to Pieface again for 800. Who is this? Oh, that is the Billion Dollar Princess. Who is Stephanie McMahon?
Oh my God!
And we're closing out the 800-point round with this clue from Recycle Tag Team Names. Jim Cornette was inspired to use this tag team moniker from the 1950s to name his top heel team in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Now, perhaps you chose the Midnight Express for your answer. However, they never wrestled in Smoky Mountain. Instead, the Heavenly Bodies is your correct answer. All right, it's time for the main event. If you think you're a diehard wrestling fan, this round is designed to put your knowledge to the test.
We'll take care of your pesty, your pestilence, your botherance, all your fun, and all your games once and for all!
5 clues left. Let's kick things off with Name That Gooker. The original Gobbledygooker, the OGG, was portrayed by this member of the famous Guerrero wrestling family. Having previously performed under a mask as Lasertron in the NWA during the 1980s, the correct answer, who is Hector Guerrero?
Is that all you do is gobble?
And we're on to the final clue from Potluck. Nicknamed the Milkman, this wrestler defeated the reviled Colonel De Beers in the Great American Turkey Hunt.
What the hell is a turkey hunt?
In a match that was utterly ridiculous to watch, the heroics of jobber Jake the Milkman Milliman unfortunately didn't save the American Wrestling Association from shutting down, but his turkey triumph was certainly legendary. Moving on to the final clue from WCW Traditions, Saturday Night Pro Wrestling on the Superstation TBS would traditionally start at this time. And that would be 6:05 p.m. And that brings us to the final clue from Pieface. Who is this? Now this Diva Search contestant was only in the WWE for a short amount of time, but she appeared in some memorable segments including Diss the Diva.
That's what I thought.
And this Thanksgiving party, the correct answer, who is Joy Giovanni.
Let me get some of them peas. I had peas before.
And let's close out the board with the final clue from Recycled Tag Team Names. Used in early ECW by the duo of Chris Candido and Johnny Hotbody, in 1996, a young Christian Cage and Sexton Hardcastle, aka Edge, began teaming using this name. And the correct answer, who are the Suicide Blondes? All right, don't go anywhere. It's Final Jeopardy time. Let's find out what this episode's category is. Leftovers. The gift that keeps on Thanksgiving are the leftovers, and we here at WrestleTrivia are cooking up something special for you. So no pressure on how much you choose to bet. Just go ahead and do whatever floats your gravy boats and place your wager now. All right, time is up. Here is the Final Jeopardy clue for this episode. Winning an eating contest at Vicky Guerrero's Thanksgiving leftover party in 2013 had dire consequences for this superstar. Is it A, Darren Young, B, the Great Khali, or C, Titus O'Neil? Good luck. This primetime player's prize for winning was a match with the King of Swing himself, Cesaro, on an overly full stomach. The correct answer, who was Titus O'Neil, who that night, instead of Titus Worldwide, became better known as Titus Hurled Wide.
I don't know what I just saw.
Well, wrestling fans, that wraps it up.
As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate that with your family. My name is Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah!
And I'll see you next time.